Hello friends. Welcome to Defense Matrix. On this channel you will get fully information about defense and technology. Let's view the video. When one pilot fought 64 Japanese planes, the impossible dogfight, one man versus 64 enemy fighters, imagine being alone in the sky, your fuel gauge ticking down, bullets rattling your cockpit, and all around you, enemy fighters swarm like angry hornets. That was the reality for a US pilot who found himself face to face with 64 Japanese aircraft during a brutal dogfight in World War II. This wasn't just another mission, it was a fight for survival against overwhelming odds. This section sets the stage for the entire story, a real-life Top Gun moment, but far more intense. We introduce the pilot, James H. Howard, a former Flying Tiger turned P-51 Mustang ace. Alone over Germany, while defending B-17 bombers, Howard spotted a massive swarm of enemy fighters closing in. Instead of retreating, he dove into the chaos, using both skill and sheer guts to fight back. Every twist in the dogfight will be broken down, shot by shot, how he outmaneuvered, outgunned, and outlasted dozens of Zeros in a desperate air ballet of survival. Eyewitnesses claimed he fought like a man possessed, forcing the Japanese to scatter and saving countless American lives. But how was that even possible? That brings us to the fighter aircraft that made it possible. Inside the P-51 Mustang, while heroism played a major role, technology also had its moment in the spotlight. The P-51 Mustang wasn't just a plane, it was a game changer. In this section, we'll deconstruct the P-51 Mustang and reveal the secret weapons it carried that allowed one man to fight 64 enemy aircraft and survive. Designed for long-range missions, this aircraft could escort bombers deep into enemy territory, something earlier fighters like the P-47 couldn't do. But it wasn't just range, the Mustang was fast, sleek, and deadly. Its Rolls-Royce Merlin engine gave it superior high-altitude performance, while its .50 caliber machine guns provided brutal stopping power. You'll learn how the Mustang's aerodynamic frame allowed tight turning, high-speed dives, and rapid climbs, crucial when facing nimble Japanese Zeros known for their agility. We'll even showcase HUD-like targeting tech of the era, including the gyroscopic gunsight that helped Howard make every bullet count. This segment helps the viewer understand how engineering brilliance met battlefield need, giving pilots like Howard the technological edge to do the impossible. Modern jets owe a lot to the lessons learned from aircraft like this one, Japanese air superiority, how 64 planes swarmed the skies. To truly appreciate the odds, we must understand the enemy. The Japanese fighter force, often dominated by the legendary Mitsubishi A6M0, was feared across the Pacific and beyond. Light, agile, and unforgiving, the Zero could outturn most Allied aircraft at low speeds and was piloted by well-trained airmen willing to die for victory. This segment dives deep into the Japanese air combat doctrine, which emphasized group tactics, coordinated swarms, and relentless pursuit. The 64 enemy aircraft weren't just random fighters, they were part of a deadly, coordinated strike unit sent to obliterate Allied bombers. We'll break down their formation strategies, how they used the sun as cover, and how their tactics were specifically designed to overwhelm isolated targets. But we'll also expose their weaknesses: lack of armor, poor dive performance, and vulnerable fuel tanks, all of which the P-51 Mustang, in the hands of an expert like Howard, exploited with surgical precision. By the end of this section, viewers will realize that this wasn't just a heroic tale, it was a clash of aerial philosophies, of machine versus machine, and man versus many. And somehow, the man won. Tactical genius and aerial bravery, split-second decisions that turned the tide. It wasn't just about bullets and horsepower. What made this battle unforgettable was the sheer brilliance of the man flying the plane. James H. Howard wasn't flying blindly into a storm of enemy fire, he was calculating, adjusting, and outwitting his opponents in real time. Each second in the air could mean life or death, and yet, Howard turned instinct into art. He used altitude to his advantage, diving when needed, climbing to reset the fight, and staying constantly on the move to avoid being boxed in. His most daring tactic? Flying straight into enemy formations to scatter them, a move considered suicidal by most standards. But for Howard, it was the only way to disrupt their rhythm and save the bombers he was protecting. With every turn, he predicted his enemy's moves almost like chess, but at 400 miles per hour. When 1-0 locked onto him, he didn't just evade, he baited the pilot into a steep climb, then rolled an open fire mid-flip. That's tactical flying at its highest level. Meanwhile, his fuel was running low, and ammunition was dwindling. Still, he chose to stay, engaging enemy after enemy for over 30 minutes, until the skies finally cleared. Some enemy pilots, stunned by his relentless attacks, reportedly retreated, not because they were losing, but because they believed they were up against a full squadron. Not a lone pilot, this moment defines what true military bravery looks like, where human courage meets strategic mastery. It's a masterclass in air combat that still leaves modern pilots in awe. And that's why James H. Howard didn't just survive, he earned the Medal of Honor, the only fighter pilot in Europe to receive it during World War II. Legacy in military aviation, lessons for today's Air Force pilots. James H. Howard's legendary stand didn't just become a story, it became a blueprint. His actions are still studied in U.S. Air Force academies, reminding new generations that technology alone isn't enough. Tactics, courage, and improvisation win battles. Today, with AI-driven drones, stealth fighters, and satellite-assisted targeting, the battlefield has changed. But the principles Howard demonstrated, agility under pressure, relentless aggression, and commitment to mission over self, remain timeless. His story is a bridge between old-school grit and next-gen warfare, showing that while tools evolve, the heart of a warrior is eternal. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel Defense Matrix for more interesting and knowledgeful videos.